Welcome back. Today we delve into the mystery thriller from 2016, Tom Hanks' Inferno. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A frantic chase unfolds through the ancient streets of Florence, Italy. The renowned geneticist, Bertrand Zobrist, runs desperately, pursued by a team of agents. He pushes himself, racing toward the city's highest tower, a desperate last resort. He reaches the top of the towering structure, but there, he's confronted. Christophe Bouchard, the head of the SRS, Surveillance and Response Support, team for the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control, stands before him. Bouchard demands to know the location of an Inferno virus. Zobrist, however, has made his choice. Without a word, he throws himself from the tower window. He hits two roofs with sickening thuds on his way down before finally crashing to the ground below. Meanwhile, miles away, Professor Robert Langdon lies disoriented in a hospital bed. His head throbs, a fresh wound stinging on his temple. Distressing visions flash before his eyes, a hellish landscape where figures writhe in agonizing pain, some consumed by flames, others with their heads unsettlingly twisted backward. Whispers echo in his mind, and he glimpses shadowy figures in hoods, alongside others wearing ominous plague masks. He awakens fully to find Dr. Sienna Brooks by his side. Sienna, a young and seemingly earnest doctor, introduces herself and confesses she's been a fan of Langdon's work since childhood. She explains his condition, retrograde amnesia, a direct result of his head wound, causing him to lose his memory of the past few days. Their conversation is abruptly shattered. An assassin, Vayentha, appears, disguised as a police officer. She coldly shoots one of the doctors nearby before attempting to force her way into Langdon's room, clearly intending to kill him. Reacting quickly, Langdon and Sienna escape through the chaos. As they flee, the fourth line is ripped from Langdon's arm, and blood immediately begins to seep. They manage to hail a cab, but as they pull away from the hospital, the combination of his injury and the shock proves too much, and Langdon loses consciousness. Langdon stirs, waking up in an unfamiliar bed. He realizes he is no longer in the hospital but in Sienna's home. Still groggy, he asks her for coffee, fumbling slightly for the right word, a clear sign of his lingering amnesia. As Sienna goes to prepare the drink, Langdon takes the opportunity to use a laptop in the room, opening his emails. He finds a message from a man named Ignazio Busoni. The email contains unsettling information. It states that Ignazio is safe, and so is something that he and Langdon have apparently stolen. The message ends with a cryptic phrase, Paradise 25. The cryptic email from Busoni prompts Langdon and Sienna to search through Langdon's personal belongings. Among them, they discover a peculiar device, a Faraday pointer. When activated, it reveals a hidden compartment containing a miniature projector. Inside, projected onto the wall, is a digital image of Sandro Botticelli's famous map of hell, an intricate illustration inspired by Dante Alighieri's Inferno. This wasn't just a historical artifact. Hidden letters and Zobrist's own name are subtly embedded within its complex lines, hinting at a deeper, sinister connection. Their discovery deepens as they watch a video of Bertrand Zobrist. In the recording, Zobrist calmly explains his radical viewpoints on humanity, arguing that the world is overpopulated and requires a drastic cleansing. The chilling truth dawns on them. Zobrist intended to unleash a deadly virus worldwide, a plague designed to wipe out billions of people, all before his dramatic suicide from the Florentine Tower. The Inferno virus Bouchard sought was not just a rumor, it was a horrifying reality. Just as this terrible realization sets in, Langdon instinctively calls someone at the US consulate, arranging for a pickup from Sienna's address, seeking official protection. However, his relief is short-lived. He soon discovers that the officers arriving are not there to help. It's Vayentha, the same assassin from the hospital, now accompanied by other armed figures. Their presence confirms they are still after him. Langdon and Sienna are once again forced to run, their desperate flight continuing through the labyrinthine city. Back on the streets of Florence, Langdon and Sienna remain in a desperate flight from their pursuers. As they move, they focus on another puzzling clue from the map of hell, the phrase cerca trova, which they recognize as Italian for seek and find. This phrase seems to be a key to understanding their next step, and possibly to locating the virus. Unbeknownst to them, a new force has joined the hunt. Elizabeth Sinsky, a high-ranking associate from the World Health Organization, has also begun her own search for Langdon. She issues a stern order to her team: they are to trust no one and must find Langdon by any means necessary. The stakes are clearly rising, as both government agents and now a global health organization are actively seeking the bewildered professor, who unknowingly holds the key to a global catastrophe. While Langdon and Sienna desperately try to decipher their next clue, Vayantha, the persistent assassin, makes contact with her shadowy associates. She speaks to a man referred to only as the Provost. This mysterious figure is revealed to be Harry Sims, the enigmatic CEO of a powerful, clandestine firm known as the Consortium. One of Sims's men reports to him, relaying Vayantha's update. Sims, now fully aware of the unfolding events, has an urgent demand. He insists on seeing a crucial video, one that Zobrist had specifically sent him, intended to be viewed only after the deadly virus had already been released. The Consortium's involvement adds another layer of complexity and danger to Langdon's already perilous situation, suggesting a more elaborate and coordinated plan behind Zobrist's actions. Following the cryptic Cerca Trova clue, Langdon and Sienna make their way to the Palazzo Vecchio. Their destination is the famous painting, The Battle of Marciano, a masterpiece by Giorgio Vasari. As Langdon studies the intricate artwork, he immediately notices familiar writings embedded within it, echoing the hidden messages from the map of hell. The connection solidifies, pointing them deeper into Zobrist's twisted puzzle. But as he focuses, Langdon's mind is assaulted by more harrowing hallucinations. His head throbs, and he feels a sharp pain in his neck, suddenly remembering being injected with something. A terrifying thought grips him. Could he be carrying the very virus they are hunting? Sienna quickly reassures him, explaining that if he were infected, everyone around them would likely already be dead. Their frantic search leads them to Marta Alvarez, a museum employee and an acquaintance of Langdon's. She reluctantly grants them access to the museum's security footage. What they see shocks them both. The video clearly shows Langdon himself, alongside Ignazio Busoni, covertly stealing Dante's death mask from its exhibit. The pieces of his missing memory begin to brutally fall into place. Before they can fully process this revelation, alarms sound. Authorities and museum security, alerted to the theft in their presence, are now hot on their heels. Langdon and Sienna are forced to run once more, their desperate escape resuming through the historic halls. Langdon and Sienna run as fast as they can through the Palazzo Vecchio, heading for the very top, an attic above the apotheosis of Cosimo I. They just want a moment to catch their breath and figure out how to get away. But the person chasing them, Vayantha the assassin, won't give up. She finds them there, clearly planning to kill them. A fierce fight breaks out. To save themselves, Sienna pushes Vayantha hard. The push, combined with how fast Vayantha was moving, sends her flying backward. She crashes through the old, weak ceiling and falls out of sight, dying below. Soon after, officials from the WHO arrive. They had been tracking Langdon to the palace and find Vayantha's body. It's a clear sign of how dangerous things are getting. Elizabeth Sinsky looks down at the dead assassin. She seems to know Vayantha, and a brief look on her face hints at a past connection between the head of the WHO and the assassin. Driven by the Paradise 25 clue, Langdon and Sienna make their way to the Florence Baptistry. Inside, they locate the Dante's death mask that Langdon and Ignazio had stolen. On its back, they find another hidden message, a further piece of Zobrist's complex puzzle. Just as they uncover this new clue, Christophe Bouchard appears. He calmly claims to have been the person Langdon met in Cambridge before his amnesia, and surprisingly, tells them that Sinsky and her WHO associates are actually trying to spread the virus, not stop it. Bouchard offers to help, joining Langdon and Sienna as they move forward. However, as they proceed, Langdon's fragmented memories and sharp instincts begin to return. He slowly realizes that Bouchard is lying to them. The truth is, it was Elizabeth Sinsky he had met in Cambridge, not Bouchard, turning their perceived ally into a potential enemy and deepening the conspiracy around them. Meanwhile, a crucial development unfolds behind the scenes. Harry Sims, the powerful CEO of the Consortium, finally meets with Elizabeth Sinsky, the head of the World Health Organization. Their meeting is urgent and direct, focused on the immediate global threat. They share what they know about the Inferno virus, understanding its devastating nature and Zobrist's intent. Despite their previous separate agendas and even the suspicions surrounding Langdon, the sheer scale of the danger forces them to set aside their differences. They agree to work together, forming an unlikely alliance with a single, desperate goal: to stop the virus from spreading and prevent a worldwide catastrophe. The clues from the mask, combined with his returning memories, lead Langdon to a chilling realization: the virus must be hidden in the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. But just as this critical piece of information falls into place, the true horror of his situation is revealed. Sienna betrays him. She turns on Langdon, her previous helpfulness replaced by a cold determination. Sienna confesses that she was Zobrist's lover, deeply sharing his twisted vision for humanity. She declares her intent to carry on his catastrophic work, unleashing the virus he designed. Before Langdon can fully react to this shocking revelation, an unknown assailant, likely working with Sienna, knocks him out cold. The professor, now alone and defenseless, is left unconscious, the fate of billions resting precariously on the brink. While Langdon is unconscious, the story shifts, offering a deeper look into Sienna's motivations. We see an extended flashback showing Sienna and Zobrist as lovers. In these moments, Zobrist patiently explains his extreme views on humanity and his grim work, how he believes the world is too crowded and needs a drastic way to reset itself. Sienna, clearly fascinated and drawn to his ideas, slowly comes to fully agree with and support his radical philosophy. Because they used to enjoy playing elaborate treasure hunts together, Zobrist, anticipating his own death, carefully left a series of hidden clues specifically for Sienna. These clues were meant for her to find, ensuring she could continue his terrifying mission if something were to happen to him. This revelation shows that Sienna's actions are not random, but part of a calculated plan to unleash Zobrist's inferno. Langdon slowly regains consciousness, finding himself captured. His captor is none other than Christophe Bouchard, the man he had just realized was lying to him. Bouchard confirms Langdon's dawning suspicion, revealing that he was, in fact, conspiring with Sienna all along, making their earlier alliance a cruel deception. Suddenly, Harry Sims, the CEO of the consortium, appears. In a swift, decisive move, Sims stabs Bouchard in the neck, killing him instantly. With Bouchard eliminated, Sims explains the full, elaborate deception to a stunned Langdon. Sims reveals that his own associates had drugged Langdon with benzodiazepine after Langdon's initial meeting with Sinsky. They then created a fake head wound to make his memory loss seem real. The entire chaotic experience in the hospital, including Bantha's attack and Sienna's apparent help, was a carefully orchestrated setup by the consortium. Their goal was to force Langdon, unknowingly, to solve Zobrist's puzzle, leading them directly to the Inferno virus. With the truth finally revealed, Langdon and Sims join forces with Elizabeth Sinsky and her team. They work together, piecing together the remaining clues. Their investigation leads them to the tomb of Enrico Dandolo. From there, they finally deduce Zobrist's ultimate target, the Basilica Cistern in Istanbul. Time is running out, and the fate of the world hangs in the balance as they race against Sienna to stop the release of the virus. Together, they burst into the Basilica Cistern, just in time to try and stop the catastrophe. The air is thick with tension as they see the virus container, submerged underwater, set to explode. But the fight isn't over. Sienna is there, ready to ensure Zobrist's twisted legacy is completed. In a sudden, desperate move, Sienna attacks Sims, stabbing him, and he dies there in the cistern. The others frantically race to locate and disarm the virus. Langdon tries to stop Sienna, but in a final, shocking act of devotion to Zobrist's cause, she blows herself up underwater, ensuring her own death but also triggering the release mechanism for the virus. Chaos erupts. Langdon finds himself in a desperate fight with one of Sienna's remaining conspirators. Just as the struggle reaches its peak, police officers arrive and shoot the conspirator, ending the immediate threat. Despite the horrific events, Sinsky and her team manage to contain the virus, preventing its wide release. With the immediate danger past, the World Health Organization takes possession of the virus, securing it from any further threats. Langdon and Sinsky prepare to go their separate ways. Before they part, Sinsky quietly returns something to Langdon, his Mickey Mouse watch. It's the watch he'd lost after their initial, real meeting in Cambridge, a subtle nod to the fake memories and the true timeline of events, and a gesture of trust. The movie ends with Langdon returning to the museum in Florence. He asks a security guard to simply turn up the light on the Dante's death mask exhibit. The guard enters the room and is visibly stunned to find the mask, which was stolen, now perfectly back in its original spot. Langdon, with a knowing smile, simply walks away, leaving the mystery of the mask's return to the shadows, a secret he shares with the now contained chaos. Make sure to subscribe, and turn on notifications to get more videos like this. Thanks for watching.